when people first start, carnivore or keto or any diet, like you kind of have to, break it as well to know how good you feel when you're in it. So I think, when I first started it, I had periods where I would, cheat on other foods and stuff like that, and you come out of it. But that's all kind of part of it. You get the contrast of how good you feel when you're on it. So you know that this is how I feel. This is how I used to feel when I eat a lot of carbs, and I've just kind of gone back into that. I actually feel substantially better when I'm in, a ketogenic state. So I want to get back to that. And then next time you're probably less likely to break it because how important being in that state is. I think as well, like if you are going to, have a sweet drink or a treat, just make sure it's like at a baseline ketogenic. There's no sugar in there. So like even if you are gonna, have a treat like we all do now and then, it's not going to completely derail, what you've worked at.
So Cullen, tell me about your health journey and how long have you been on carnivore for?
Yeah, sure, Todd. So now it's probably been coming up 3 years. So originally, growing up, I would say that I just had a pretty standard diet. What is quite socially acceptable. But then when I started looking at it, it was full of ultra processed foods. Full of like so many carbohydrates, and I found I got to a point where a few years ago, I didn't have that much energy. I was looking to try and change something and see whether or not my diet could impact that. And so I started on a ketogenic diet, and straight away actually found some really good improvements to my energy. Had real good mental clarity. I felt, I would say, more confident as well. I just felt more alive, I would say. And then that ketogenic kind of transitioned more into a carnivore ketogenic style, which is pretty much what I've been doing up until, and still currently doing.
That's awesome. So 3 years on carnivore, you started with keto and then you switched to carnivore. When did you make that change? And did you notice a big difference when you went full carnivore?
Yeah, so that was actually pretty early into it. So yeah, started ketogenic. And then I actually think briefly after ketogenic, I actually went more animal based. So I was eating, fruit and honey, and getting some of those carbohydrates. And initially that was really good as well, but I missed that kind of mental clarity that I had when I was in a ketogenic state. And then kind of just found my way back into, then doing a carnivore style, and found that, I personally felt better, in that ketogenic state, and found, it's quite easy just to, eat meat twice a day or once a day, get satiated, don't have to cook for half an hour with all these different ingredients.
That's awesome. So when did you first hear about carnivore? Who was the kind of the main influence?
So probably Paul Saladino, who used to be Carnivore MD, used to be carnivore, and obviously now is more animal based. So he was the first one that I saw. Before that, I read a book, Primal Body, Primal Mind, which is, I think that's ketogenic style, kind of as a paleo style. And that was probably the first one that sparked my interest of, it made sense, eating the way that our ancestors did, eating the way that, we have evolutionarily kind of evolved, eating a diet that's more appropriate to that.
Awesome. I haven't heard of Primal Body, Primal Mind. I'll have to look it up though.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I think it's written maybe about 15, 20 years ago, but a lot of it, is really good.
Awesome. I'll check it out. So 15 years ago, that's really ahead of its time, because like everyone's talking about carnivore a lot more now. And there's also I feel like there's a stronger pushback against it as well. So I think it's actually making some waves, which is cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So as far as your meals go, are you eating like once a day or twice a day?
Yeah. So probably mainly twice a day. I don't really eat more than twice a day. Preferably, I like to go one meal a day. But now that I'm, with work and stuff like that, me and you baristas, we start early in the morning. I kind of like to have some protein early in the morning. So, normally have, 3 or 4 scrambled eggs early on, get some protein in, and then I'll just wait until I get home and then have a meal, 4 or 5 p.m. And that will consist of probably a steak, probably 300 grams of steak, and then probably maybe 500 grams of mince as well, maybe in some patties or something like that, maybe a few eggs. Yeah.
Nice. So pretty much just beef and eggs are your kind of staple.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, beef and eggs. I do like eating lamb and other stuff like that. But for me, just cooking beef, like I love eating steak. Pretty easy to cook on the barbecue or something like that. So yeah, beef for me seems to be my go-to.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just so satisfying, and it's so easy to cook and prepare. Like it takes, a couple of minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes to cook beef mince. Steak you could do in a minute, maybe 2. It's like
And
I've saved
it
so
always
much
tastes
time.
so good.
Yeah, it's like the amount of time you can save doing carnivore and preparing food. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so true.
So you mentioned having a breakfast, some protein before you go to work, and you find during the day, how's your energy? Like, does that keep you satisfied during the day?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, even if I didn't have those scrambled eggs in the morning, I'd say I'd still be satisfied until I get home and for dinner. But yeah, I have that, and then I'm full all day, got good energy, mental clarity. I'm not waiting for my break to go and eat something sugary or carby to re-up me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny once you get deep into carnivore, you get fat adapted, you don't get that ravenous kind of hunger. It's more like a gentle kind of hunger. It's like someone shoulder saying, "Hey, would you like to eat?" And it's like, no, I reckon I'm good. I can keep going. But before eating lots of carbs, like mostly carbohydrate, grain, fruit sort of diet, veggies, the hunger was just like unbelievable. It's like a schoolyard bully coming up, putting
you
you in a
get
headlock.
hangry and stuff like that. And
oh, it's terrible. Yeah. How have your friends and family reacted to you being on carnivore?
Yeah, fine. I mean, family, they don't really do it themselves, but they understand, the health benefits and stuff like that. And probably in the future, as it becomes more mainstream, I would say maybe they look to get into it or definitely implement more kind of red meat and animal products in their diet. I mean, friends, it's like anyone that first hears a carnivore diet, they think it's probably pretty crazy, pretty outrageous. But yeah, the guys I'm living with now, they've actually started more eating way more meat, mince and steaks and stuff like that. And they've even told me they've probably only been doing it for the last month, but they've already seen, big improvements to their energy, their mood and stuff like that. Even though that's only a part of their diet, they still eat a lot of other stuff. But even that bit seems to be helping them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, like I didn't try red meat until last year. I had a steak for the first time. I've been mostly chicken and veggies for 36 years of my life. I'm 37 now. I tried a steak first time last year. I was like, oh my God, I've been missing out on this for so long. And like you get conditioned of like I'm not blaming anyone, but it's like you only know what you know. You know what your parents have taught you, what your friends and family do, what the media is telling you to do. You just don't know any different.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. Yeah.
So if a friend came to you and said, "Okay, Cullen, I want to try carnivore," how would you recommend they go about it?
Yeah. I guess if they're coming from eating a pretty standard diet with a lot of carbohydrates, I might sort of say maybe ease your way into it. Maybe even start on like a animal-based approach for a touch, still getting the majority of your food from meat and mince and stuff like that. And then kind of moving into the keto carnivore. But yeah, I'd say just keep it simple. You don't put like you'll it's hard to believe that you could eat mince every day and it tastes amazing. But if you buy good quality mince, you cook it well, you season it with some good salt. Your brain intuitively knows that is the food that is it so desires. So it always tastes great. I mean, like you said with steak, you can eat steak every day. You never get sick of it. It's not like spaghetti bolognese or lasagna or something like that where you eat it and then you get sick of it. Like steak, you can eat that every day, and I don't think you'll get sick of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it sounds weird to probably average Joe, but like when I actually sit down and have my one meal, I have sort of beef or steak, eggs.
Yeah,
You feel so good. You just enjoy it. It's on
yeah,
enjoyment's on a different level. Like you're not looking at food as entertainment anymore. It's
yeah,
like, oh, what do I have tonight? It's like, well, we're gonna have beef and eggs, and I feel
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It just tastes, yeah, so good. I think as well to expand on that. I think when people first start, carnivore or keto or any diet, like you kind of have to break it as well to know how good you feel when you're in it. So I think when I first started it, I had periods where I would cheat on other foods and stuff like that, and you come out of it. But that's all kind of part of it. You get the contrast of how good you feel when you're on it, so you know that this is how I feel. This is how I used to feel when I eat a lot of carbs, and I've just kind of gone back into that. I actually feel substantially better when I'm in a ketogenic state. So I want to get back to that, and then next time you're probably less likely to break it because how important being in that state is. I think as well, like if you are going to have a sweet drink or a treat, just make sure it's like at a baseline ketogenic. There's no sugar in there. So like even if you are gonna have a treat like we all do now and then, it's not going to completely derail what you've worked at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I tried doing like a cheat day maybe 6 months ago when I was getting into carnivore, and you feel good in the moment, but like I reckon I was sick. I had like bloating, stomach cramps for a
Yeah,
good 3 solid days, and it's like I just feel so awful. I'm never doing that again.
no,
And you get that reinforcement from your body saying you shouldn't be eating that. This is what you should be eating. Like you just instinctively know not
yeah,
to do it again.
it just shocks your body so much. It's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's awesome. Like I just wish I got onto it a lot sooner. But I think everyone's got to kind of have their own journey. Find their own level.
Yeah, yeah,
Eating
yeah. You
better.
kind of people have to kind of stumble their own way. I think if you get too much trying to get people or change people's opinions, like they sometimes they cannot be as reactive or
Mm.
as open to it. But when they kind of stumble their way in there and they actually feel the benefits, I think that's what really makes them want to stick to it.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. It's I feel like every day is my birthday. I get these amazing, satisfying meals, and it's like this is so good. Like, why would I want to change? Well, I
Mm.
go back now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Now, when you started with keto and you mentioned you transitioned to animal based to carnivore, and did you notice like how soon did you notice a difference? Was it like the more mental clarity, or was it more an energy thing? How did you kind of know that was the right path to take?
Yeah, I would say within, it, even within, 2 or 3 or 4 days, I would say more relaxed and more focused. I
Hmm.
felt more energetic when I initially started the keto phase. And then, yeah, and then when I transitioned into the animal base, that was good. But I struggle to kind of probably limit the amount of, stuff like the amount of fruit and sweet things that I'm eating. So it can kind of like destabilize that. And then I found, my blood sugar would be spiking and crashing, and I would be getting the same feelings that I was when I was eating, a regular kind of diet. So for me, I just found it easier to just fully eliminate the carbohydrates and just focus on the most nutrient dense foods, and making sure you get enough like fat as well. Like when you buy the mince, buy the fattier mince. Eat the fat on the steak, because the fat is what will satiate you. If people go too lean and they're eating, the low fat mince, then and stuff like that, then they'll end up just getting, hungry and hungry and hungry, and probably end up binging on other foods as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I found that out the hard way. Like, I haven't been tracking calories since I've been on carnivore, but I tried tracking a few days ago to kind of see where I'm at. And I noticed that I would instinctively drop the fats down, get the leaner cuts of beef mince, and you're hungry all the time. You've got cravings. Sleep was not as good. Energy was not as good. It was a big difference.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're working as a barista. I'm assuming you're drinking coffee on carnivore then?
Yeah, still drink coffee. I mean, mainly filter black coffee. But yeah, to me, there's probably a couple of those things that people still do. For me, coffee is probably part of my DNA at this point. Maybe in the future, I'll give it up. And to be honest, when I've been overseas and traveling and stuff like that, and haven't been drinking coffee, I do feel better not drinking coffee. But yeah, it's one of those, guilty pleasures, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess you probably cut out so much of your life already. It's like, to me, it's kind of like the last kind of thing I'm hanging on to.
Yeah.
But I do like that energy, you get from coffee, like first in the morning. Then I try to cut it out maybe by 10 a.m., 11 a.m., just to make sure my sleep is disrupted.
Yeah, if you can just have, and I think it's like when you drink coffee more for the flavor, which, I mean, a lot of baristas do that. They don't just drink it for the caffeine like most people do. You're drinking it for the flavor. So even having one coffee in the morning, should be substantial to see you through the day. But if you're getting to the point where you're having, two or three or four, and you're drinking your last one at 4 o'clock, I mean, yeah, that's probably not the best idea for your sleep and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And do you find that, I don't know about you, but like I found when I reduce the amount of coffee I'm drinking, like having up maybe one or two, you do get more of an energy burst from it. Like, I think the more you drink coffee, the less effective it can be.
Yeah. You kind of get sort of a immunity to it, so you have to have more and more to get the same effect. I guess respecting it more and just using it, in moderation.
Yeah, definitely. What about supplements? Do you take any supplements on carnivore? Or do you feel you don't need to?
I don't really take too much. I have been taking creatine. I recently got back into getting in the gym, which has been really good. So supplement on creatine. The only other natural supplements that I take would be like beef liver capsules. That's something I've been taking for a few years. I find those really good. A good way to get, organs in the diet, because liver doesn't taste the best. So if you can just smash back in some capsules and get the same benefits, that's really great. What else have we got? Protein. I don't really take protein powder, but I do have. I think it's the same one that possibly you have, the Mirabuka protein. Yeah, a really clean, high quality one. So if I'm not hitting, if I'm feeling like I need something on the go or something like that, just have some of that with some water. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it's funny, since I've gone, like I'm on day 90 of carnivore today. I've actually cut out all the supplements during that time. I do have creatine just for the gym. I just feel it does make a big difference to your energy and your kind of focus. Getting that kind of last rep or two out, I think with creatine, that really helps.
Yeah, nice.
And apart from that, yeah, I'm just doing black coffee, creatine, salt, and water. That's pretty much all I'm
Yeah,
taking.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome.
And you get enough protein from, eating red meat, really. So there's no real need to be supplementing.
Yeah, exactly. Like on a normal day, I'm probably getting about 200, 260 grams of protein anyway. So it's like
Wow.
you
Yeah.
don't really need to do more. It's kind of overdoing.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Weight training on carnivore, how long have you been doing that? And have you found that makes a difference, or could you talk about that?
Yeah, like to be honest, like I've always been physically active, playing sport and stuff like that. I used to do a lot of like running. That was kind of like my main source of exercise. I haven't really done that since I've done that a little bit on carnival. I think once you become fat adapted, it's totally fine. And some ultra marathon runners and stuff like that are, carnivore and ketogenic, and they do, you know, really well. But yeah, probably since I moved over to WA a couple of months ago, I've been getting back into the gym, and yeah, I mean, find it pretty easy to build muscle, increase in strength and stuff like that. So yeah, no, so far so good. Yeah.
Nice. And are you tracking your workouts? Like, how are you finding this the strength is progressing each week?
Strength. Yeah, strength's definitely going up per week. Not tracking everything super in detail, but no, putting up like lifting more weight, week on week. Yeah, so seeing that steady growth, also seeing putting on, I think I put on maybe 1.5 to 2 kilos in the last like month and a bit. So yeah, seeing some, solid progress there, which is really great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I found the same thing. It's hard to explain why my strength keeps going up, but it just is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have so much more energy, even though I'm not taking any carbohydrates or
Yeah.
pre-workout. Like really enthusiastic, and I really want to train when I'm there.
Yeah.
I've been working with a PT for about the last 12 months, and he just keeps saying like your strength is going up each week,
Yeah.
and the weights are going up, and he's kind of like puzzled as to what I was
So
doing.
what's going on? Yeah. 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 So he
Like
didn't
what's
know you were carnivore to start.
Yeah, he's been a bit skeptical. Like I told him what I
Yeah.
was doing. Like he's an awesome trainer, but it's kind of like he's been taught the
Yeah.
balanced whole foods approach
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
in moderation. I
You
think
need
that does work.
carbohydrates and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that can definitely work for some people, but people like myself that are sugar addicts, I just can't do
Yeah.
it. So yeah, it's been funny. It's like each week you feel like you are progressing, getting a bit better. It's like you get that reinforcement that you're on the right track. Keep doing what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, that's awesome.
And how many days a week are you training at the moment?
Probably like five days,
Wow.
or 5 to 6. Yeah, I kind of do 5 or 6 days on the spin and then take a couple of days off.
Yep.
Actually, and one of the big things I've noticed is like I don't really get sore. Like if I go to the gym and lifting more and more weight every week, really pushing myself in there to failure, I might be sore after the workout a bit. But when I wake up in the morning, I'm not like hobbling around, or half the time I don't even feel anything. So whether or not that is to do with getting a lot of protein and muscle and stuff like that, really helping the recovery. But that's been something that I don't remember. You know, when I used to work out a few years ago, I would be sore the next day.
Yeah, I've had the exact same experience. Like recently, I haven't been sore, and I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, oh, maybe I'm not pushing myself enough. Maybe I could do more. But like, I think like when you get to rep 10 and you feel like, oh, I can't do more, that's when you should
Yeah.
work out 2 or 3 more reps, and that's what actually
Yeah.
will
Right.
stimulate more growth. But yeah, I don't
Right.
get
Yeah.
more. Maybe it's because sleep is so good, it's a lot faster, or more
Yeah.
efficient, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Whereas before, I would have thought maybe not training hard enough or something. But yeah, it just
Yeah.
seems to be working.
Yeah. Nice.
So do you find after weight training, does that increase your appetite, or do you go like, would you eat an extra meal days you're training, or?
Probably eat the same the days that I'm training.
Mhm.
I was training later, kind of in the evening, so eating and then waiting a couple hours and then training. But lately, I've just kind of been going after work, so been pretty much like, obviously having breakfast, but that can be quite early, 5 in the morning. And if I'm training at say 3 in the afternoon, so I won't be eating before then, and yeah, and then just having getting that protein in, a couple in the next hour or so, having that big meal,
Mhm.
pretty
Awesome.
much.
So you eat something in the morning, you'll work a full day, and then you go and
Yeah,
train. How long are your
yeah.
shifts at the cafe?
Kind of depends, anywhere from 7, 8, 9 hours, depending on the shift of the day. It depends, but yeah, I'm not finishing that and lightheaded and eating food. You could just carry on, and yeah, when you eat, you do eat later on, but you're not kind of hanging out for it.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's such a productivity hack going carnivore,
Mm.
and like you just have this
Yeah,
long lasting energy all during the day. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, no, it's cool. I think more and more people will get into it. In the as the times are changing, more people are starting to understand that the traditional ways of eating and the diets and stuff like that are not really what they seem, and there's probably more out there that's better suited to how we have evolved.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. There's a really good book. I'm not sure if you've read it, called "Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind" by Dr. Georgia Ede, I think
Yeah,
her name is.
yeah.
Um,
I actually saw you post it, so I read it a couple of weeks ago.
oh, nice. Yeah. So that book talks about psychiatry, like mental health, and is an interesting trend happening with psychiatry now, where they're looking at diet more as the starting point, like
Yeah,
elim- eliminating the processed, sort of ultra processed
yeah,
food, sugars and
yeah,
carbohydrates, and seeing the mental clarity,
yeah.
like mental health. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, when they talk about when someone, goes to medical school or something, they'll only do, a tiny, tiny bit on nutrition.
Mm,
Whereas now they're starting to realize that, the nutrition, what you put in your body is really everything for your physical and your mental health, isn't it? So
yeah.
hopefully that paradigm, changes, and, it gets better in the future.
Yeah. I think it's going to take some time. There is some
Mm,
pushback against it, but I think that means there is something changed. There is a difference happening. You
yeah,
know, how we think about food and think about our health.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, I agree.
Colin, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Todd. I've really enjoyed it.
No worries. Now, are you on social media, or do you have any way people to get in touch with you?
What am I on? I'm not really on social media. Oh, I'm on Instagram. What is my Instagram? So it's just my name,
Hmm.
um, Cullen Smith. 9 is my Instagram page. I don't really post too much on there, to be honest. I don't really post much about diet or anything like that. But yeah,
Okay.
they can still reach me through there if anyone wants.
Oh, nice. Yeah, if you're happy for people to reach out to you, I'll leave a link to it
Yeah,
in the description.
yeah, totally cool.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Colin.
My pleasure. Thanks, Todd.
Cheers. Thank you.